I am writing a Regency romance book, and today I want to invite you into my brain to meet my main characters. Hi, my name is Natalie and I write books, and today I'm going to be a little self-indulgent and do the main character tag that was created by a few fellow author tubers on here. I'm going to put their names right here, right now. I follow Katie Ann Writes, and I know that she did this a long time ago, but recently it's made kind of a resurgence on AuthorTube, and it reminded me that I want to do it. Today I am going to answer these questions about my main character, whose name is Ivy, but I'm also going to do it for her love interest, whose name is Joel. So, two characters today. Wild Ivy is an enemies to lovers Regency romance between a fiery, passionate young lady and a young gentleman who has made his way to her father's estate to recover from this life-altering injury. It is a novel for people who love Regency romance, for people who love enemies to lovers tropes. Unite, it's my favorite. And also for people who are seeking the representation of disabled people as love interests. So I hope one day that you guys get to read it and love it as much as I do. So let's jump into it. We are wasting time. What is your main character's name? How did you, the author, choose that name? And how does your main character feel about their name? Ivy's name came about pretty organically. That's funny, that's a plant joke. That was unintentional. I knew that I wanted to write a Regency romance, and I had started kind of brainstorming this story, beginning with the setting. I think settings are really important to how I write stories. So I was looking at like old manor houses in England and saw like one that was listed for sale. And in the listing of this building, they talked about this wild ivy that was growing up the side. And I just loved that phrasing. I loved the thought that this plant was like so tenacious that they couldn't tame it, and they just decided to let it become part of the house and be beautiful, even though like they didn't plant it. It was just decided to be, and eventually they accepted it. And just the thought of that kind of developed into a character idea. And I thought, you know, to pay homage. I feel like I've never said that word out loud before, and now I'm second guessing myself. Have you ever done that before? Anyway, to pay tribute to that idea, I decided to name my main character Ivy. Yeah, she totally fits her name, and she absolutely loves her name. She also loves it when people call her Wild Ivy. She's not offended by it because she's like, heck yeah, I'm wild. What are you gonna do about it? Joel's name was slightly less meaningful, but I still love his name. I was looking for a common name that wasn't John or Matthew, you know, something that someone could conceivably be named in that time period, but was still like a semi-unique name. Went through baby name lists, came up with Joel. I got Joel and I got Ivy. The next question is, what is your main character's zodiac sign? I'm not really much into zodiac signs, so I had to do a little bit of research for this part, but here's what I've come up with. I think that Ivy is an Aquarius. She is definitely intelligent and artistic and has that rebellious spirit, doesn't like to be told what to do. She can also be impulsive and temperamental, enjoys being by herself when she gets a chance to just, you know, absorb herself in her own little world. Joel was a little bit harder to determine. I read a bunch of articles, and I think I've determined that he's a Scorpio. He is also very stubborn, very intelligent, but he has this deep emotional well of feelings that he is not exactly great at expressing. And I think that might be where that Scorpio energy comes in. Everything to him is a really big emotion. He can be a bit of an extremist and bit sensitive, but not great at communicating what those feelings are. But he is honest and loyal above all things, and I think that's the energy of a Scorpio. Let me know in the comments if that's not true. That's kind of what I got. What is your main character's relationship to the person or people who raised them? Both of Ivy's parents are still alive, and she is their only living child. She had two older brothers who both died about 10 months prior to the start of the novel. And she's close with her parents. She's definitely closer with her dad. He always kind of understood her, allows her to be herself. Her relationship with her mom, strained. Her mom really wants what's best for her and wants life to be easy for her, and she wishes that she was you know, a perfect English lady who wanted to get married to a rich man and who wanted to have lots of kids because that's what's expected of her. And that is not Ivy. And so the tension there really just comes for them wanting different things for Ivy. And it's definitely a major tension point in the novel. Joel's mother died when he was young, so he doesn't really remember her. Joel's dad was a huge influence on his life, though. They were definitely very similar. People all the time say you guys look so similar. But Joel's dad actually died about 3 years before the start of the novel, and after his death, Joel went down a rough path. That's what we're gonna say. It definitely was a major turning point in his life. Yeah, he never really let himself process the emotions after his dad died, and that's a tension point as well. I want to interrupt myself quickly and say a huge thank you. I just hit 100 subscribers and it feels awesome. If you are not yet subscribed, I want you to know that you are welcome in this community and it would be a joy to have you as one of our subscribers. So come hang out with us if you like it. I post videos with writing tips and tricks as well as a little bit about my own writing journey. Let's get back to the main character tag. The next question is, what is your main character's most important memory prior to the start of your book? Ivy's most important memory probably involves her brothers, who died about 10 months prior to the start of the novel. She has a few memories pop up throughout the book, remembering, you know, life, what it was like with them. There's one specific one that is very pivotal to the plot, so I'm not going to reveal it here, but I definitely know what it is, and it involves Ivy with her brothers. I'm not sure if this is Joel's most important memory, but definitely a memory that has the most significance in this story is the memory of how he got injured. He has a traumatic spinal cord injury from an event prior to the starts of the book. Again, I don't want to go too far into it because it is a huge part of the book, so you will just have to take my word for it and hopefully read the book when it comes out. Your character walks into a library. What section do they head to first? Ivy will go to whatever her current obsession is. Like, she might head to nonfiction and be reading about agricultural farming techniques, or she'll go to Greek mythology short stories, or she will be doing a deep dive on like romance. Like, whatever her whim is, she's following it. Joel is a secret lover of poetry. Don't tell anyone. So he's definitely in the poetry section, as long as nobody else is watching where he's going. The next question is, would your character survive the Oregon Trail? How? Honestly, I think both Ivy and Joel would survive the Oregon Trail by stubbornness and sheer determination alone. Like, they would just refuse to die. If you get no other information about my characters from this video, just know that they are both extremely stubborn and it makes for some delightful romantic tension. What would your character ask for if they made a deal with a crossroads demon? This basically means, like, what are they desperate for? What would they trade their soul for? And for Ivy, that is a very simple answer. She would give anything for financial and social stability without having to marry for it. She wants to be an independent woman. She wants to provide for herself, and it absolutely kills her that she's in a time period where she can't do that on her own. This is also a very easy answer for Joel. He would ask to go back in time and prevent his injury from ever happening. And of course it wouldn't work, right? Because as traumatic and terrible as it was something that needed to happen so that he could learn certain things about himself that he needed to learn. And then the very last question is, what will your character think about on their deathbed? Ivy will probably think about all the experiences and things that she got to do in her life, like the places she got to go, the people she got to meet. She's very success-oriented, or at least like accomplishment-oriented, so I think that she's thinking about everything she got to do in her life. Joel would probably take a more poetic approach. He's thinking about the things that he'll miss from the world, like the smell of grass, the sound of wind in the trees, the feeling of sore muscles. Like, he's gonna think about what it meant to be human and what he'll miss about that. He's cute, it's whatever. I wanna thank Lindsay Puckett for doing this tag because it reminded me that I wanted to do this tag many years ago after Katie Ann Wrights did it. If you wanna do this, do it. Consider yourself tagged. Tag me in it. Let me know in the comments if you do this so I can watch your video. I'm super interested in everyone's writing work, and I literally go on deep dives with these things all the time. If you liked this video, it would mean a lot to me if you gave it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week with a new video. Bye. Sweating. Florida, why? It's February. It's for Mind Cane Burger. Why am I this way? Do you hear the dogs barking? Very. You are awesome, guys. I love you.